Big shout out to everyone watching. It's Jrod Point. Good morning, good morning, good morning. Very happy to be here this morning. Today is on the title. RIP de Casa en Paz, Celeste Rivas Hernandez, David Anthony Burke, the evil monster in the closet. Today's title. Microphone check. 1 2 1 2. I'm down. I'm down because I think y'all remember my latest live stream, one of my latest about this case. Big shout out to Jane, big shout out to Amy, both of them in the chat. Thank you so much, very so much appreciated. Both ladies in the chat, please make sure everybody be nice to them. Don't get blocked. Jane said microphone check good. Thank you very so much appreciated. But today I cannot deny to you, I'm so very happy that Jane and Amy Conway are here in this wonderful morning, because this one is tough. I remember I said, on my latest live stream about this case, which it was true at the moment. At the moment when I spoke about this case, right when David got arrested, I said it far as forensic report, knowing what happened to her, they don't. That's a fact. They telling you the same things that I could have told you. That there is a fact. They could have tell you the same things that I could have told you. They're gonna go a little bit farther, of course, because they know some laboratory work. They're gonna do chemistry and whatnot. They're gonna at least try. But they know, and I know, with that type of such a gruesome decomposition, of the body, the conditions, and again, trigger warning, I'm not trying to be graphic, but y'all well know here in true crime, we have to talk about it. This is every single parent from around the world biggest nightmare. This is as worse as a nightmare for any parent. This is why I think that we should talk about this, and hopefully anyone that it comes around this content could get educated, could get inspired to do better. Because ladies and gentlemen, in the way things are going these days with parenthood and childhood and modern days and Hollywood and people killing you to take your children's and in a way we see lately a very, very, very dark vibe. It's something that you could feel it, but it's very hard to explain. It's very hard, and I think that part of not knowing how to explain it is the shocking of it. Because at least I speak for myself, but as a Christian, you don't expect, like you don't You don't, you like, some people want to call us Christians like naive and shit. Like, oh, they naive. They don't have no maliciousness. They don't, you know what I'm saying? But a Christian like myself, I'm well versed, very experienced in life. I learned a lot. I'm pretty in age of have a pretty clear idea of how life should be. Um, Anyone could agree and disagree. That's fine with me. But I gotta be so clear with this. The manner of decomposition got worse by the mutilation, and it got even worse with the oven conditions as she's being put in the front of a Tesla, black at that. It will absorb all the heat of it. Just is a oven. In the daylight, it'll be a oven. It'll get is California. It is going to get as hot as it gets. Um, it was in a forensic report that it was larva. They talking about insects. Like, come on, be specific, be educated in true crime. Stop being a fool. Like larva, it comes with the decomposition. Um, in reality, you really can't say much far as the manner of death in reality. Okay. Then here comes the details as 2.5-inch incision that they don't know how they don't know if it was. They say it was an object. At this point, they can't even tell you if that was. I'm not, because I'm really trying to like. This is a very important live stream to me, so I'm really not trying to do too much. I think I'm really picking and choosing my words because out of respect to Celeste, out of respect to the topic, out of respect to y'all, out of respect to myself. I'm gonna give you my opinion. I'm not a forensic expert. I didn't study no forensics and whatnot. But it's certain things that when you hear it, you just know. You just know. You just know. Okay? Having an incision, excuse, having an incision of 2.5 inches in depth. That's right here, my finger. It depends where it hits. It depends where it hits. That'll become life or death. But a incision, let's say a wound, Because again, they cannot tell you how that happened. They cannot tell you what he done it. They cannot tell you what they use to inflict that defect. Because again, forensic terms are very important. Forensics are very important. The language that is used in the forensic report is essential. So when the forensic report tells you and recognize what we could call a wound, they call it a defect. Listen, they called it a defect. A defect. With that, they telling you that, well, it's not supposed to be there, but it's there. How it happened, we don't not know. Yo no sé. No sé. Lo siento. Perdóneme. Pero no sé qué fue lo que sucedió a este cuerpo. In other words, in English, I do not know what happened to this body when you use the terms defect. In my opinion, you can't even call it a wound or an incision because you don't know what that did it. You call it an object. Obviously, something did it. Somehow it happened. But the language that you utilize on your report is very important in court. Which at that moment, I don't know if the medical examiner, the coroner, call it whatever you want to call it, is actually thinking on a prosecution of this case. Because at this moment in the forensic report is called two defects, one 2.5 inches and the other is 1.5 inches. 607. You know me, I started making calls, details about it. You could have survived those. Where the positioning of both defects and the depth of it? All my research indicates that you will definitely survive wounds like that. Of course, if you don't get no medical attention, in the long run, you will possibly die out of those wounds. But that is, you don't get it treated, you will be incapacitated, you will be hurt, you will be injured, but you could last a long time before death while you're bleeding out. It's a chance that you could put enough pressure to it that at some point start bleeding. I doubt that, just because where the death and where those staff were, it seems like, in my opinion, I would like to say, again, it's my opinion. That could have got done with a small knife in a moment of passion, arguing. You stab the person twice, but it's a feeling there. You actually love this person. That's why when you stab her, if that was the case, you didn't stab her to kill her. You stab her to inflict pain, but not to kill. But now you wounded. Now you bleeding, and they cannot tell you, yeah, let's take you to the hospital, because it was could be a domestic violence situation in the middle of a heated argument. He got so pissed off, hit her twice, but again, not meant to kill. But you already crossed the line. And again, I want to say something very clear. Jrod on point do not know nothing that it has not been revealed about this case today. And I'm not even being funny and do the wink wink like I do sometimes. But I think Jane and Amy Conway, while listening to me, they could read between the lines, because they've been here long enough. They could read very, very well between the lines when I speak. Hopefully everyone else is following, but I have to be very clear as far as legal terms within an investigation, especially when everything, the majority of stuff is sealed. So I want to make sure that y'all know, but y'all know that when I get into a case or I speak about a case, I'm very, very precise. Like I'll when I want to know something. Hello, 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 yeah. Saludo, mire, todo bien la familia. Mira, sí, mira, qué cosa, chicos, tenemos que hablar. But I want to make sure that y'all know the Jrod on point and the On Point family, the On Point Rican, do not know no specifics, no detail, that it has not been put out. I don't know nothing. What I could tell you is my opinion. What I could tell you is my interpretation of the facts that is being put out there between the government and private sector, far as there's content out there and whatever you could Google and stuff like that, and just a little bit that I could sprinkle with my own journalist investigative methods, which I try to always keep that on display very secretly. I think, again, and I repeat, I appreciate Amy Conway and Jane. Like, listen, my sister from Costa Rica and the UK. I think that by now they know how I work. So it could be the chance in the moment of heat, hit it twice. Now you have a domestic violent case, a possible domestic violent case. While she's missing, while she's in a missing person report, while they tracking David's cell phone and their conversations for a long time. Right around after she got reported missing, it was an investigation, and part of the investigation, it was submit the warrants for whatever they need on everything they need. Because again, due to that, it seems like the allegations is very low to none cooperation from the family. The state had to do what the state had to do with what they got. What they got, it was enough to open an investigation against David while she's alive. So now you're in a relationship with a minor. There is a missing person that you possibly stopped twice because you got mad at her. Or just whatever. Whatever was your reason. Stab her twice. Now she's injured. Now you can't even take her to the hospital. You didn't have to plan this shit. Because if you ask me, it was no planning this shit. In my opinion, in how messy, how for the, and it's gonna sound bad. It's gonna sound bad, but yeah, I know at some point I was somewhere else in my life. It sounds bad when you have the money and assets put in place to commit the perfect crime if you wanted to, which in the middle of the slappiness and unorthodox and unorganized way to do it, because he's on a rush. It happened. You go, and as you go, you figured it out as you go. And even though it seems it was no plan to this, he still might get away with murder. Not saying he's innocent, because in my opinion, he's not. In my opinion, Jrod on Point's opinion, the death of Celeste Rivas came out of her connection and contact with David Anthony Burke. If she was not around and in connection with David Anthony Burke, Celeste would still be alive at this day today. That still don't mean that the state will have enough to charge him with murder. They might charge it with possession of a corpse. They cannot even say that he inflicted that damage, unless if he had help from someone, which again, aka a boyfriend, because again, we have said it here very clear. That young boy, it looks bisexual to a grown-ass man, to a grown alpha male like me. You look a little butterfly, a little flower like that, and the way he look in the internet, and the way he behave, his womanism, because at this time, I can't even call it mannerism, because it's a womanism about him, that he was very, very gay. So it seems like in the closet, the monster in the closet, it seems to me as a bisexual boy. Why bisexual? Because you like young girls. Too young girls. Too young. Illegal young girls. But then you go and lay down with a man, allegedly, and apparently, I don't know nothing. But the word in the street is that Butterfly had a boyfriend, Asian guy. And he's not the guy from Face. He's a whole different guy. It's a whole different Asian guy. The guy that made the song with him from Face and whatnot, that's another topic to talk about in some other day. But if by any chance, whenever, if that was the case, Celeste got, if that was the case again, if Celeste got stabbed twice and non life threatening wounds, but due to that now she's wounded, you might try to give her some attention yourself, but those wounds, even though if you, let's say for example, remember I don't know nothing, but let's say for example, you, due to that you have the money and access and ways to get a doctor to your house, we already know that in the Hollywood Hills, it's a fact. You could call and you have a doctor coming to your residence, and it depends of how much money you got. It's procedures that could be done in your house, which is surprised me. If that was the case, developing the topic, it is very surprising for me to say that if that was the sample, for example, the only way that could have happened is with a very corrupt and evil doctor. They will not report the situation. Complicit doctor. Because if he's a regular doctor with a regular staff, you know, that goes and attend the rich and famous and whatnot in their homes and stuff, if they legit, they would have reported you. Which I believe that this is why that is out the picture. That did not happen here, because then he will have other witnesses. Even though if you could attend those wounds at your house, it could be some complications of it. But while that is happening, then now you having the conversation of what we are going to do. What's the bottom line of what we are going to do? You know, as soon as you let her out, it's a wrap. It's a wrap. Emikan would say, yeah, the rumors is this guy, his stream, it was his boyfriend, and he got money ring behind him and trafficking the age and the internet. I think it was a lot of things going on. I think it was a lot of things going on besides Celeste's death. Cause just in a pattern, in a way, I see him performing all these scam, all these shabam, all these nastiness. I could only assume that it was a lot of things behind closed doors with other underage children, but that's only my opinion watching the behavior in the conversation. I could only imagine that his money, fame, and power, him having a Discord with multiple children that came out of Fortnite. Because in my opinion, Fortnite was his biggest gate to children. He being famous, playing Fortnite. Every kid's dream to meet like a celebrity and be cool with him. Just to say, yeah, I'm friends with such and such. Again, that's why, Amy, that's why I said that he supplied himself. He really don't need like no one to do it for. Like he don't need his brother that he's a minor. He don't need his brother. He don't need Celeste to do so, because I believe that Celeste was more like into girlfriend type of relationship. As soon as she realized that David wanted to play, that's when everything went south. Because in my belief, it's a chance there that Celeste would not just live in a fantasy, but also in my understanding is that she was in love with David. And it seems like every time she acted around him, she acted like that's my man. And he acted like that's my girlfriend. They identify each other as boyfriend and girlfriend. Her being so young, thinking that she had this celebrity in love with her, and while she thinks that she's the only one, and while she thinks that she's the main one, I believe that somehow at some point she realized you're not the only one. And I think the Celeste gave us a hint. For those that have followed the case, y'all know what I'm talking about. Jen said I got he got scared, realized his behavior. If he got out, would have ruined him. So he left her and didn't seek medical attention that could have saved her. Yes, yes, that goes perfectly with the conversation about in the heat of the in the heat of the moment. I see him raging enough to wound Celeste. I believe that it's a chance, in my personal opinion, that he could inflict two small stabs, as we could see through the forensic report. But again, it's called defects, and that those defects were caused by object. That tells you that they can't even recognize those incisions as wounds. They don't even know if they are wounds. They don't know how it happened. That could have happened while she was like handled. Unfortunately, that could have happened while she was being handled or whatnot, drag or whatnot. You know what I mean? Because again, at the time and moment of the forensics of this case, it's impossible to determine what caused her death. How happened with what happened? Who did it? Possible DNA gone. So yes, in my opinion, in the heat of the moment, in the heat of a uh, argument, I believe that the things got said, and she ended up injured. I would like to say that I would love to go by the narrative of the forensic examiner. And we kind of said yes. He had that boyfriend jealous, like part of her death. Um, yeah, we're gonna get to that. Um, even if she would have survived, right? Then now we got to talk about how she got mutilated, like how she. I would like to believe what the forensic team said. I'm not trying to go too much, but I want to believe, okay, that at some point, due to the, it's a fact that these wounds you could have survived them, that she could be alive for a while, but somehow wound got infected or whatnot. And let's say that she actually died by those wounds. Now it comes the point of like what we're gonna do with the body. I think that's when the idea about cutting her legs and I think in multiple spots it was one, two. It was like two cuts, four different parts of her legs, her arms cut in two different parts, the same than the legs, and leaving just a torso we ahead. And it seems like she wasn't a big body. It seems that as a child, at the moment, 13 years old, at the moment, 13, 14, at the moment, they say that she just, you see, it's a confusion legacy media because they say that she just turned 14 when she was found. And then other people in the media saying that she just turned 15 by the time she was found. But I don't know if they're trying to make it look for David. It's a possibility of that. Her parents knew she had a boyfriend named David. Yes, precise. So I don't want to believe, I do not want to believe that they started sewing her body while she's alive as a way of torture for a sadistic, demonic person that he sees when wanted to use his imagination. His imagination is very dark. It seems that he was into some very gross sexual stuff. It seems that he was also allegedly into some after death stuff. It seems like he was into mutilation. It seems that he had a fascination with the satanic and demonic world. We could only listen. I know that he comes from a Christian family, but guess what? He became a demon. And you know that Satan will attack Christian's family way before he attacked a satanic family. Because they're doing their job. But then here you have a Christian family that unfortunately their son became a demon through the screen of his cell phone, tablet, computer, TV screen. He became a demon with the influence that he came from the outside world. The only thing that he could digest at home while in the middle of a pandemic, while he's a teenager. I told you, these pandemic kids, those teenagers that were locked up for a couple of years inside of their house, dealing with their parents and whatnot, whatever issues at home, that you could run away from them while you in school, while you have time with your friends, while your curfew is not up. You actually get to run away from the issue. But no, now you going to school at home. Now you can't get out the house. Now you don't have no social communication with others no longer. Now your habitat is your closet. The monster in the closet. This is why we call you today, David Anthony Burke, the evil monster in the closet. Because you could see this boy in the closet, sitting in his closet with his phone. This boy got turned into what he is today, and he said it himself, listening to satanic emo rap music like Lil Pump. He started with Gucci Gang, Gucci Gang, Gucci Gang, Lil Pump. That he said that was the song. David Anthony Burke said that was the song that turned him on into what he is today. Listening to Playboy Cardi and listening to XXXTentacion, rest in peace. Listening to all these satanic hip hop music. The only satanic demonic emo looking like guy like Trippie Redd from Ohio. And all these other idiots that just wanna be under the umbrella of Satanism. So here we have a young boy from a Christian family influenced by the TV, influenced by the tablet, influenced by while you know while you are old enough to know what's right from wrong, especially coming from the Christian family you coming from. David Anthony Burke deserves every single thing he has coming his way. He deserves everything. Because you know what's right from wrong coming from a Christian family. And you're going to commit such a blasphemy? You know what? Someone that have never met the Lord, someone that have never known about the Lord, I cannot blame them for acting like they turned their back on their Lord, because they don't know nor recognize a Lord. They don't recognize a creator. They don't recognize Lord Jesus Christ, because they don't know Lord Jesus Christ. So for those people, hey, this is a unpaid plug. Hold on. This is a unpaid commercial. Okay, for free. I cannot do my true crime without Pepsi, the drink of investigators. Free commercial plug. Okay, I swear I'm not getting paid for this shit. The autopsy will know if limb was chopped up before or after death. You see, the problem is that they can't. Oh my God, I shouldn't even laugh about this shit. Jane, I shouldn't even laugh on that one. And I'm so sorry. I'm so very sorry. Mea culpa, mea culpa, mea culpa. That's the problem, Jane. Forensic cannot tell nothing. Forensic could only, and I'm not trying to be gross, forensic could only tell you this this is a human, and that's all they could tell you. The damage that the decomposition did on her body, over, is nothing that the forensic report could tell you about how this happened. None. They were talking about, oh, it was the same thing in the Kiely Rodni case. Oh, she has alcohol, method something in her body. No, she didn't. And it's caused by the decomposition. Stupid. And then in the details of the report is like nothing, not applicable, because it's nothing that you could get out of this body. Is done. Is again, I'm not trying to be gross. It's just meat at that moment. It's just meat and bones. Is This is what I'm trying to tell you. Even in the middle of the chaos of this happening, even in the chaos of the non-planet murder, he makes sure that body. I don't know if he paid attention to the Casey Anthony case. I don't know if he paid attention to true crime. I don't know if he knew about the Casey Anthony case. But that's how she got out. That's how she got out. Because the government couldn't. They do not. They found They found bones, dry bones at that, broken bones at that. Like somebody stumped on that poor little child body, or poor little corpse. I don't know if he was advised, and due to this is all you could do. with what you got. Like nobody want to get involved. Like no, bro. Probably plenty people told him no about everything, knowing that he was a minor. They got murdered, and now she's shocked up in front of your trunk and your front of your Tesla, and you telling me to do what? Bitch, you're crazy. Oh hell no. So due to not having help, not even from his management, I believe that's how everything got to be how it is, because nobody complied to helping to do nothing, and that was all. And if he got any help, let's say from his boyfriend, alleged boyfriend, and I don't know if anyone from the staff of his management, of anyone from the staff of the label, we don't know that. At this day today, no charges has come up to no one else, but I believe that if it's someone else involved, they're using that person due to they don't have no forensic work. They will say how she died, what inflict her death, because they're only assuming right now. Because at this point, the only thing that they could charge him with is with the possession of a corpse. If they have witnesses, they know he did it, and not just because he confessed to you. Because 9 times out of 10, that's gonna get thrown out. Yeah, I know. Due to their composition, Jane. Yes. Here we go again. I know. And I'm so happy that Amy Conway and Jay and I are here today to hold my hand through it. I appreciate you, though. Thank you so much. So they must have someone. I don't know if they're the alleged boyfriend. Okay. But due to is no forensic power that in court could be used, the only thing that you could rely upon is digital data and witnesses. Digital data and witnesses. Whatever money trail at that moment, that's all you have in court. It'll be, let's say, how credible those witnesses could be far as her death. Because if by any chance the alleged boyfriend was with David and seen David inflicting the injuries on Celeste, it's a wrap. Because everything else came out of that. So yes, if the state has the boyfriend, and let's say they're not pressing charges on the boyfriend because yeah, he witnessed, and yeah, he didn't call the cops, and yeah, he was not trying to cooperate. But at the end of the day, if you're gonna give him a slap on the hand, you're gonna give him, right now, if I'm not mistaken, he's locked up. So you're gonna keep him locked up until he testify against David, then give him a plea deal so he could get out that same day. But they are going to use the boyfriend's David's boyfriend again, and this is alleged. If he was present when David if that was him inflicted the wounds that ultimately caused her death, is a wrap. They'll hit him with murder one and probably a death penalty, even though in California they have a moratorium against death penalties. So these people right now waiting for their death, and they've been saved by the governor of California. Which again, we already know. You already know how we feel about that guy. You know what I mean? So if they have those elements of a solid witness, the seeing him inflicting damage or wound to Celeste, and then after that her death and everything else that happened to her happened after that, and he's a witness of that, yes, he's a rap, finito, caput. He's done in rap. But the state cannot count on anything forensic related against David. Because again, at this moment, right now, he only had possession of a corpse, in my opinion. And then you could throw in on top whatever else, far as pedophilia, far as whatever was found on his cell phone. Let's say if by any chance he beat the murder one, but they still catch him with the pedophilia, he's gonna have to live the rest of his life registered as a sex offender, and it's over. So he'll live the rest of his life in the outside registered as a sex offender, which his money, fame, and fortune, it'll be gone. He only worth like 2-3 millions on Google. That was his net worth. Again, sue Google, don't sue me. He says that he was only 2-3 millions his worth. Which again, at the end of the day, I want everybody to be in alert. This is just the beginning of the end for David. Pretty soon, I want to say very clear, his label, Interscope, dropped David out of the label. His Twitch page and all these other streaming services deleted. I think he's still in Apple Play and stuff like that, and Spotify, if I'm not mistaken. His YouTube channel still current, getting views and whatnot, making money for the label. Because if I'm not mistaken, the other kids come out or other witnesses. We wait. At this moment, yes, is some witness is no witnesses is I think it's like 2 girls that have come forward talking about David's behavior with them. So yes, is a gotta check your email. I'm by the way, I'm expecting the email from Candace Owens. Big shout out, big shout out, big shout out to Candace Owens. Hush, hush. But yeah, I'm expecting an email from Candace Owens at some point soon, or a phone call. That'll be dope. And hopefully, get some things cooking with Candace. Small content creator. Hey, listen. But I got the goods. I got the info. I got the 411. I'm a very good super cyber sleuther that I could be very useful for someone like Candace. Owens. And y'all already know what I know about the Charlie Kirk case. Y'all already know. Y'all seen the live streams. Yeah. Clips are gonna come soon. But I think y'all already know how I roll far as at the Charlie Kirk information. Rest in peace, Charlie Kirk. But going back to Celeste Rivas and David Anthony Burke, big shout out to Jen. Thank you for being here. We appreciate it. Yes, it's two young ladies that wants to come forward, but if I'm not mistaken, at this day today, the state has not approached them. Big shout out to Jen. Thank you so much for being here. We appreciate it. Jen said, "Hi, Jrod. I like Candace always. Yeah, she's the best. She's a beast. She's a beast." Raise of the two girls witnesses to speak up. Yes, they want to talk about their interaction with David. I think that it was something there, so they are willing to talk to the state. But if I'm not mistaken, at this day today, the state has not approached them to talk to them at all. Big shout out to Jen. Big shout out to Amy Conway. Big shout out to Jane in the building. Thank you so much for all the sisters to be here with us today in chat. Very so much. I appreciate it. So I want to make it clear that the need of witnesses is very important for the prosecution of this case. Is very important. If they have a witness, they not just know, but legitimately either participated somehow or witnessed him doing it, even though it was no participation or nothing else for that person, but at least that person saw him doing it, and keep it hush hush, like possibly his boyfriend. I think it's a chance of that. If you ask me, in my personal humble opinion, it's a chance to that. It's a chance there, in my opinion, for the alleged boyfriend of David Anthony Burke being a witness of David, at least inflicting the wounds on Celeste. Because again, if that boyfriend participated on the dismemberment of this body and the sacrilege of this body, he got to get the same amount. I don't care how much he helped you, but he at least better get life. You save his life. Yeah, you save his life for us as not getting no death penalty. But if David boyfriend help him to dismember the body or do any other stuff besides just witnessing, you have to give him life. You have to at least give him life. Save his life. Don't send him to the death penalty. Don't send him to the death row. But he must exist and live forever behind a prison door. I don't care how much he helped you in the case to get a guilty on David and possibly force a deal to save his life, but keep him in prison forever. If by any chance the boyfriend helped him, they both deserve life. And then David, they should get the death penalty, but we see that it might not happen. But in my opinion, if he was any help from anyone, they should pay for it. That's very important. So today, before we close the show, I want to have a listening with you just for a little bit. I want to give you a clear picture of the latest information in this case. And I would love to introduce to you, okay, um, a very, very amazing, if you ask me, amazing content creator, Gideon. Find him in YouTube. His link is on the description. The link to this video is on the description. If you want to watch the full video, make sure that y'all go to the link in the description. Make sure that y'all give him a subscription. Make sure that y'all let him know that y'all come from the On Point family, Jrod On Point, the On Point Rican. And he's a predator catcher. He's a predator catcher. Big shout outs to him. Full support to the guy. Great content creator, and also great person, because he's taking pedophiles off the streets. So big shout out to the guy. And we're gonna listen to the information provided, and then we're gonna have our commentary for everyone to enjoy the true crime that we providing to you. Okay, so big shout out to everyone watching this Jrod On Point. And yes, Amy, if I'm not mistaken, I don't think the parents gonna get any consequences out of this. I hope they do something 6 or 7, but I don't think the state is gonna go after them, in my opinion, because they still need them to facilitate some way, somehow, the truth about this case. So without further ado, let's listen to Gideon. Big shout out to him. Big shout out to everything that he does. Great content. Let's listen to his interview with Steven Fisher, well known from the Kiely Rodni case. He has like 36 some missing case resolved. Big shout out to him. And let's get to the content. Big shout out to everyone watching. It's Jrod On Point.
YouTube today, I am joined here by Steve Fisher. He's a private investigator, and more importantly, he is also the one that has been working this David case day in, day out. I'm gonna let him introduce himself and his involvement with the case. But Mr. Fisher, I really do appreciate you coming on my show today.
Hey, thanks for having me. Yeah, call me Steve. I appreciate having me and what you do. Yeah, I'm a missing persons private investigator. I only do missing persons cases, and I'm also very involved in search and rescue. I got involved in the case with Celeste, the owner of the house.
Oh, muted. My bad. I wanted to say that big shout out to Steven Fisher. Make sure you found Steven Fisher on x.com. Thank you, Amy. I appreciate it. Make sure that you found Steven Fisher in x.com and go give him a follow. Okay.
That David was staying at, and Celeste had visited him and whatnot, got in contact with me, and because he didn't rent the house to David, he rented it to his management.
The house was rented out through his manager, but David was the primary person staying there.
Well, the owner of the house, or the owners, the husband and wife, had no idea who David was. The lease says it's for the exclusive use of Josh Marshall, his manager. So they had no idea that some.
So the landlord rented the house to the management team. So they expecting the management team to be living there, but they were not living there. They rented it on their name for David. So at this moment, the owners of the house have no idea who's residing in that residence. At this moment, they have no idea what's going on, who's going in and out, what kind of people live there or whatnot. Because they rented their house to a management corporation. And it seemed that the name David was nowhere on that contract. Interesting.
They didn't know. First of all, they didn't know who the singer David was, and they didn't. They live out of state, and they didn't know that somebody else was living there. So this, all of a sudden, their house is involved in a search warrant, and all this, this tragic event happens to this teen losing her life, and they wanted to understand, what had happened, because LAPD wouldn't give them any answers, and so that's kind of how I got involved.
Celeste's family never got in touch with you to find her before. The only reason why you got involved was because the owners of the house had cops coming through their house investigating stuff, and they just didn't know what was happening.
Yeah, no, I've never been in touch with her family. I've tried. I didn't want to push them hard, though, so I haven't really followed up more. But yeah, so the owners were very, it's never had anything to do with value of the house or loss of value or anything. It's had to do with, they wanted to understand what happened there, because they have kids around that age, and they wanted to know if,
of course, you're gonna make it sound good, but they really worrying about the depreciation of the residents. They need to have a clear picture of what was going on here. So of course they're gonna have the services of Fisher to fish the information of what really was going on inside this house. Who was there? Who was doing all whatnot? Yeah, it's gonna be an issue for us as well. This is the house where this allegedly occurred. But again, I think one of the things that saved the resident from depreciation was the vehicle was towed from in front of the residence, allegedly, to the tow yard. So I feel that some way, somehow, the tow yard operator, the tow truck operator, is guilty of tampering with a crime scene for the simple reason that he didn't follow protocol. The whole reason why they will call to remove the vehicle, it was due to the foul odor that it was coming from it. The truck company that went to pick up this vehicle from in front of the house, just because the nasty smell of dead body, people know what that smell is like. The reason why the vehicle was being taken out of there was because the foul smell. Why cops were not called at the moment before he moved that vehicle is well recorded on this case, is well noted in this case about the foul odor coming out of this vehicle at the time that it's getting picked up from in front of the house. Why the tow truck driver did not call the cops when the smell is so noticeable of death? Yeah, it was a mansion-like residence, Hollywood Hills, fancy, No, it's impossible, Jane. It's impossible. We could give him the benefit of the doubt, but it's impossible. Because the neighbors, the whole reason why they took the car away from there, it was because the neighbors were complaining about the foul odor that it was going into their residence. So if this smell is impregnating your residence with that foul smell of a vehicle that is far away from your house, by the time you literally walk in front of this vehicle or you're trying to tow this vehicle, the first thing you are going to smell is death. Why cops were not called? So then now the vehicle is right in front of the house where allegedly this happened. And you surround the whole area as a crime scene tape, and you put yourself to work right at that moment. Because as soon as that vehicle was taken to the tow yard, and David knew that the vehicle was towed away, you give him chance to get rid of evidence. That was the tow driver fault. Because smelling death, rotten death through your nostrils, and due to that was the whole reason why you will call to get this vehicle out of there, because the foul smell that is coming out of it. Why you did not call the cops? Did you do that purposely? Did someone just told you, yeah, get the car out of here? So now we have time to get rid of key evidence. Well, I don't know how much evidence they would have got rid of, because obviously he didn't got rid of the pictures or whatever they found on his phone, or that could be deleted from his phone but be found in the iCloud, which they'll get into that. Jen said, how will the proper protocol be? Didn't they have it told because the smell? Yes, that was the whole reason for it. And in the summer heat, yeah, you're right, Jen. And in the summer heat, for months and months, for months and months. One of the gross details of this case, and I'm sorry, trigger warning. Apparently, her left eyeball was missing. That could have only happened if he was forced out, because the other eye was there, decomposed. But it was there, decomposed. The other eye, gone. Her ringer finger, where she had the name David, with the other pinky finger, gone. Again, I'm not trying to be gross. I'm not trying to be graphic. But at the same time, we need to think outside the box. And unfortunately, talk about what could have happened to her. Let's continue.
On like even on a spiritual level, if they could go back in that house, it is really hard for them to fathom. You know, if it happened there, or even in fact, even that it didn't happen there, just the fact that it's tied to it, they have some real decisions to make, and they're from out of the country, you know, and so they don't really understand the laws and everything. So they said, listen, we want to find out what happened. They wanted to know what the truth was, and they wanted to make sure that Celeste, got justice if she needed to get justice. Because remember at that time too, they're telling us there might not be any crime here beyond concealment of a body, which was never true. I don't know why LAPD came out and said that, but they were making it sound like this might have been like
they said it themselves, and they said this early after discovery. Soon as they found in the manner of the body decomposition, they knew that it was nothing that could be done at all, far as finding out what happened here. Over. At that moment, the cops said, well, I think if it was anything here, like, we don't know. Body was bad. No forensic could have got done out of that. And then also now, well, the only thing they could have is possession of a corpse. You know, this conversation, it was early into the case, early, which is sad. It's horrendous that something like this will happen to anyone.
An overdose or something, and they made a bad decision. There was nothing like that. It was never anything like that. This was a guy who's a predator. I don't know why.
Yeah, I was thinking the same thing. What about if he got paid to just get the toe out of there and just ignore the smell? Just get this shit out of here. I don't know, don't care, just get it out. There's possibility there.
It took this long to get where we're at. I'm glad there's finally Pierce justice is coming, and it doesn't seem like there was this real urge. It wasn't like maybe the
sense of urgency.
Yes, exactly.
The house that David was renting at, that the owners hired you, Celeste has been to that house, correct?
She has, yeah.
Was that the house that they're presuming that all of this went down at?
It's the house that when they say, she was lured to, I'll tell you this, we don't know exactly where it happened. We're trying.
Jen said, wait, so we are the missing bit that we said tattoo finger go. You see, I feel you, because it has to be some finger somewhere. Did he keep the finger? Because he was the ring finger of the ring that he gave her. And right on her finger of the ring finger, she had the name David tattoo on it. And then at the other hand had the shh tattoo, and the other finger, which it was on the hand. That's one of the ways that she got recognized in her dentist. But her tattoo, they said shh. They actually are Rihanna and David have it. I don't know anybody else that have that tattoo, but famous people that he has that tattoo is Rihanna and David. And y'all know Rihanna is as demonic and satanic as she gets, in my opinion, though. You know what I mean? So her husband, both Satanists, in my opinion. You know what I mean? Trophy, oh my God, what a freak. He had an infatuation with corpus, like he had an infatuation with corpses, like with chopped up stuff from bodies and limbs and fingers. It was a picture of him holding a finger. The people would say, "Oh my God, that was Celeste's finger," but no, it's a finger that is from anime or whatnot. That he says the finger has powers. Is the finger of a demon and whatnot. So yeah, he was into all that satanic shit though. But yes, it has to be fingers somewhere. Where Celeste ring finger is. Because again, they found everything but her missing fingers. Is tough.
Trying to figure that out, and we're also trying to find out where the murder weapons may be, and not only the murder weapon but also the dismemberment tools that were used.
After all this started coming out, was David still tied to that house?
No. So as far as we know, the way it happened was David was on tour when this news broke, even of the car being LAPD initially being called to the tow yard because of a foul smell and flies circling the car. He was on tour, and so it came out that, hey, there's been a body found in a car that's registered to David. They had no idea. Well, the public had no idea that it was Celeste. People in his Discord had a good idea who it was, though. He continued on with his tour. It wasn't until they identified her as Celeste, was a documented missing person out of Lake Elsinore, which is like 80 miles away from LA, that they finally called the tour off. But he just kept plugging away. He never made a comment about it. The only comment they made was his press people said that they were cooperating with LAPD, which they never were, which we come to find out they never were. That was a lie. They just wanted to keep going. And it did keep going. And then when they did call it off, he's never made a comment, and he was never seen in public again. He was in West Hollywood, very close to
Did he go back to the house that the manager had rented, or did he go somewhere else?
So what happened was, after she was identified, they served a search warrant. LAPD served a search warrant on the house the next day. I believe it was September 17th. His management contacted the owner and basically said they were breaking the lease. You know, they were going to have the movers come the next day, which they did, and they came and they grabbed certain.
I gotta say, Jen, I totally agree with you. Like, if that was the case, again, we don't know. That he took her left thigh, and out of everything, her left thigh, like Left Thigh, the rapper, the singer from TLC, which is all symbolism. It is all symbolism. He could have taken her eye out as a symbol and signal and symbol to their cult, a signal of the all-seeing eye, the eye of Lucifer. And also could signal an eye for an eye. But in my opinion, when he did that, it was a signal to, could be people that he coped with. Because in my opinion, the eye of horrors. Thank you, Jan. Thank you. Thank you. We have the best chat in the whole YouTube true crime. The best. We got Jane, we got Amy, and we got Jen, Amy, and Jane. The trilogy. True crime experts. Okay. The eye of horrors. Yes. Because again, it seems like he was on all these satanic stuff, symbolism and whatnot. And it's very important that we pay attention to those details. Again, that one finger could be to conceal evidence, far as the name David, and far as let's say we don't know if her finger, because remember, it seems like they worked together since she was like 12 years old. That's the allegations right now as we see. What about if he gave her that ring when she was 12? Now a whole year has gone by. Now let's say that the ring is hard to get off the finger. It's only one way to get the ring and get the finger that he says your name of a minor that is dead and mutilated. It's dark, but you'd be surprised how some humans live their life. That's no see, no speak. Yes, 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 Jane.
Things, but they left a lot behind, and they basically then said, you know, anything that's left behind, just do what you want with. We're out. He's never seen again. Now we find out that he was in another rental house just a few miles away.
Like what a lot of people are kind of confused with, and I was hoping that.
So David had two houses. He had the one that the management team had, and then they had a whole other house. So it's like you have a streaming house. But I guess you could stream from the other house too, because it seems like one of the last live streams that the Celeste was part of, it was at the older house, not at the mansion of the landlord that got the contractor Fisher. It's crazy. What money and fame, and when you have money, got access to do, you know, have 2-3 houses. You know what I mean?
You can kind of break down better for us is the car was reported to be a couple blocks away from his house. That house, it was at the house that the owners that you work with had. Okay, So was
So
that
whenever I say the house, I'm talking about my client's house,
Yes,
which
sir.
is some people call the mansion or whatever. It's the only house that we were aware of at the time that he was living in. Now there is a house before the lease started, which he did that famous live stream from, the delete everything. When Celeste in that one, that was actually filmed.
So
in
was
a
that
house.
Celeste? So a lot of people say that was the other Celeste in that. So so that live stream, that was Celeste in that live stream where
The
they
one
said
where she talks about R-ing kids, and he says delete everything.
Yeah, that's the live stream. That's the live stream that I was talking to you about. In my opinion, Celeste wanted to give us breadcrumbs. In my opinion, at that moment, due to her love for him and thinking that she's the main one, and let's say knowing that she's the main one, she found out what he was doing with other minors, and that's how their dispute started. And she wanted to give us breadcrumbs saying, oh, it's criminal to rape children and whatnot. And I think when she said that, it was to give us a hint of what she was going through and what he was doing as an individual. That was the live stream that I believe that right after that, their problems started bigger than what they could already have. Because then now she's insinuating something on live stream that he's doing that gives him the signal of this could go wrong. She already there to say, oh, well, it's criminal too, when she already know that it's criminal. But what she's saying is like, oh, why would you say that when you are doing it? Look at where I'm at. While I'm missing, you my boyfriend. And you know what you illegally, apparently, allegedly are doing to me every night. And yes, Jen, Celeste said she inferred and talked about that while on live stream with him. That's why he told his mods, yo, delete the live stream, and da 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 da. Because she threw a breadcrumb to the world. And she acted like, oh, what? That's illegal? While she knows that it is. She knows that it is. But she acted naive to spill the beans and not get him mad, like being cute and snitching on him. Because again, apparently at that moment, she already know that she's not the main one, or she's the main one, but it's other girls that are on the age that he's doing that to. But she already in love with the guy, and now they're going into a dispute. We all know that Celeste was a firecracker. She was young, but she thought like an older woman. So she behave and talk, and you know when a woman find that you cheated, that you are cheating on her, but then now you a celebrity, I'm already in love with you, we already have something going on, whatnot. Now I guess I got to put up with this, but I'm mad at you, and something that it will make me feel good. It was letting the whole world what you're doing. And guess what? I'm just gonna say it in this live stream, and it's nothing that you could do. I'm just gonna be like, hey, I spilled. Well, I didn't spill. I didn't say nothing. I didn't say nothing that you was doing anything. I just said, like, is this illegal? Like, how can this be illegal when you are doing it, David? That's what she meant. because it seems like she was way ahead of her time mentally. She was ahead of her time, and she was acting like a upset older female. They are gonna do stuff like that. They're gonna try to expose you. They're gonna, if you're a live streamer, she's alive, she's just gonna act like, oops, oh, it slip off. But you're gonna know, like, no, what the fuck you trying to do? Especially after he said, I already have you media trained. That could be one of the reasons of our death too. Because he said on the live stream, I already have you media trained. So that means, how the fuck you gonna dare to say something like this on live stream, dude? That give a direct signal to David that she would snitch on him. That day, he knew, especially he knowing what the issue they got. When she threw that breadcrumb on that live stream, he knew right there and then. She didn't have to say nothing else. He knew that day what was her intentions of snitching him out. And her intentions, I guess, due to her tactic within their relationship to, let's say, scare him, like, hey, cut the check. You know what I'm saying? Cut the check. Stay quiet, but you need to cut me a check. Get me right. Put me on fleet. And he can't do it because she's a minor on the missing person report. So if it's any financial transaction out of his bank account or whatnot directly towards her, he knew he couldn't done that. He was boxed in. It's like he put himself in a situation that it was so bad that he boxed his own self in a situation that he couldn't get out of. And the only way that he thought that he could get out of, it was this way. Here's the thing. Let's say, and I'm going to repeat what I said earlier to refresh your mind. Even though, if by any chance he gets away with murder, I believe he's not going to be able to get away with the pedophilia found on his device and whatnot. And I believe that even though, let's say, if he ever gets free again and he beat this murder case, he will have to register as a sex offender wherever he go for the rest of his life. Due to that, the two lawyers that he had right now, they are high-level lawyers, are only sucking him dry. And what I mean with that is they're only sucking the whatever money he have left. That's what they doing. He don't have no label, no management team, no family. Everybody turned their back on him. He's not gonna get no financial help from any future label, because even though if he gets away with murder, he will still have to register as a sex offender for the rest of his life. So his fame and fortune and celebrity status and music business future is gone. So in other words, the only reason why he had the lawyers that he had right now is because they sucking his money dry. Soon as that money is gone, they are gone, and he's gonna have to get a state attorney. He's gonna have to get represented by the state. That's when a plea deal, they could scare him enough. They could scare him enough for him to sign a plea deal to save his life and be for the rest of his life in prison. Because that's also how he know he's the only way he's gonna be safe. Because he know he's not safe outside. Do you think that Celeste Rivas had an ex-boyfriend that was still in love with her, and it seems that she left him because David? So do you think that ex-boyfriend is not gonna wait for David to be out to either put hands on him, hurt him, or kill him? Don't you think that some family member from Celeste can't wait to put hands on David? He knows that the only way he be safe ever if the inmates don't put their hands on him. So he's gonna have to be in solitary confinement for the rest of his life. He will have to be in solitary confinement for the rest of his life in prison. He won't be able to walk the main line. He'll be with the pedophiles over there. I believe that they could scare him enough to soon as these lawyers that he have right now, they step away, and the public defender or the public pretender comes along, the state will put a deal on the table with the murder one to save him from the death penalty, but he'll be for the rest of his life in prison. Because it's a chance that even though he could beat the murder through forensics, but if he's a witness of him doing it, he could. So if that effect is there, is a chance whenever the public defender pop out that he see he's cooked. I believe that they could get him afraid enough to be like, well, this is the deal. You sign here in the dotted line. We save you from a death penalty, but you be the rest of your life in prison without parole. Like it is no 10, 20 years into see if you could come out. You cannot appeal this shit. You can't do shit. You sign here, you cooked. If you don't sign here, you still cook. So now what you want to do? I give you the knife, I give you the rope. Do it yourself. Just said, yep, life in solitary. Once I help to go nuts. Yes, that's what I said. The part of like, here's the knife, here's the rope. You do it yourself. Cause that's literally, they know how weak this man is. They already know how used to he is to, on those years that he spent locked up in his home, got him used to being by himself. He'll be fine. But not being able to do what he used to do when he was locked up, that's the part that is gonna drive him crazy. Let's continue.
Everything, delete everything. That's Celeste.
Do you know
No,
when that
that's-
stream had happened?
Gosh, if I remember right, that was like January
I totally agree with you, Jen. Totally agree with you.
of 24. That was right before she ran away the first time.
Okay.
Might have the date off by a little bit. So, and then right after that is when she starts running away. And she has these series of runaway.
And allegedly, he was talking to Celeste already on Discourse and stuff while she was 12. Some people were saying when she was 11. Some people were saying when she was 11, he was talking to her. Like they say through the pandemic, allegedly. He knew her through the pandemic or whatnot. Rest in peace, Celeste.
Events, but it was no secret that she was with him. In fact, somebody close to the situation, her family, the school where she was going, wrote.
Oh, so this was known. This was known. The school system, it seems that they knew. I don't know how case workers did not got involved. Because even though if the family makes a missing person report, CPS, police, case workers should get more involved, right? Especially being a missing person report. But why? Was it because she was Mexican or she was a Latin girl? Y'all didn't seeing it as priority? Like, I don't know her legal status. I'm only assuming that they have a legal residence or citizenship or whatnot to be here. I don't know if their citizenship status had anything to do with that, because I don't know their citizenship status. I don't. But could that be why the state was like, well, we could listen to his conversations, but that's all we could do? Because it seems the parents were not pressing the state to do nothing. It seems like due to the information that is being provided at this day to day, that the family knew and was complicit with what was going on. And the missing person report was just a legal loophole on their favor. Let's continue.
His management by email and said, paraphrasing it, there's a rumor that David might be involved in the disappearance of 13-year-old, Celeste Rivas Hernandez. If that's true, please make sure she gets home quickly. And she got home. She arrived the next day. And that email.
So that there by itself, when we have someone close to the school or social worker or whatnot, sending an email to his management team, and so they send that email to his management team, next day she's back home, you have the proof of what's going on there. Where was the police? Was this information was available to the police? Because that's all you needed to get serve a warrant against David and his residence and put some pressure on him. Or wait until Celeste runs away again. The police already had his residence spotted. Because again, they're going to investigate. Okay, he's in a label. This is his management team. Now we're going to follow the money trail. Anything on the name of this company, we're going to follow. So it could be easier for police to know the location where he was. They just needed to follow her to where he was, allow her enter the residence, and just float it with cops. That's all y'all needed to do to save her life, because the noise of just that would have freaked him the fuck out. Would have freaked him the fuck out. It wouldn't be no legal consequences, but he will be scared enough to leave Celeste alone due to the pressure of the state if they were doing their fucking job. If the parents were that concerned for them to actually put pressure on the state and be like, where's the investigation? Where's my daughter? But due to the apparently and allegedly the family, cousins, mom, stepdad, and everyone around her immediate circle knew that she was with David. So whenever she's not home, she's with David. The problem is what I was telling y'all about, that it could be some way, somehow, either the parents, like she could be too much to deal with and handle, and they found it out. Just let her go. Let her go. Let her do whatever she wants. We don't care. Whatever happened, that's her problem. Like, we just can't handle her. Like it gets to a point that some parents, I have seen some parents that they literally get tired of their kids, and they either kill them, make them go missing, or something happened to that child. It's disgusting. It's terrible. Us as a humanity and what a human is capable to do. But this is why we have to talk about these things, so all the humans could learn on what to not do and how much affect others listening to news like this. Okay, I believe that the state and the parents defend Celeste. If y'all want to keep watching the content from Gideon, make sure y'all go to his channel. The link is in the description, and his tag also in the description. Make sure that y'all go and show him some love, and make sure y'all let him know that y'all come from the On Point family, the On Point Rick and Jrod On Point. Okay, big shout out to Amy Conway, Jan, and Jane. If it's any questions or anything that you want to talk about, Amy Conway said, school surprise your report if they don't do things. Yes. Yeah, if the school will actually open a case in court against you if your kids are missing too many days and CPS gets involved. Yeah, said parents were pushing it, obviously. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. It's some people that wouldn't call them parents at all. You know what I mean? The way they handle the situation, because apparently it's information out there that the family knew exactly what was going on. They knew where she was. They were either done with her and not wanted to deal with her, or they were financially being helped by David for having their daughter. Because again, his allegations that he literally went on his Tesla to their house to pick her up. Like, he literally parked in front of the mom's house to pick her up. So I could only assume that cash money was exchanged, and untraceable cash exchange. I want to give the family the benefit of the doubt of them not being done and tired of their daughter, and be like, just shoot, go. Whatever happened to you, that's your problem. We already told you right from wrong. You don't want to listen. That's your problem. God bless you. I love you, baby. But no, you too much. You got to go. You do what you do. I want to give him the benefit of the doubt. That's not what was going on. I want to assume and have an opinionated opinion that I believe, in my opinion, that some cash money was exchanged due to Celeste was his girlfriend. I believe that he was helping her and her family financially. And that was the whole reason of the silence. Of course, they were getting what they wanted. Here's the thing. If the government go to their purchases, and since they reported Celeste missing, they were buying and purchasing shit, and they didn't go along with whatever their income is, and they were purchasing this and purchasing that. They have this, they have that, and the job that they have is not enough for that. Oh, the government gonna get on their ass. Because if the government could prove that they were being paid for their silence, and they try to cover their ass with a missing person report, did not cooperate with the family, when they found out, when they heard on the news that Celeste was found, they didn't even reach out to the police. TMC had to, I think TMC or someone had to reach out to them and be like, hey, we think that that's your daughter. But I believe they were like, well, we know. So yeah, it's very sad to have this type of parents that possibly, allegedly, it could be for money. It's like they literally selling their child to a pedophile just because the pedophile is a celebrity and he's famous. It's like the famous story of the hood drug dealer. Is the prime story of the hood drug dealer, the plug. Due to that, he's doing crime. He got the killing squad. He's selling drugs. He got the gang out there. The young kids look up to him. The young little girls look up to the girls that are around him. They want to be just like them, and they get invited to the drug dealers party and whatnot. As a minor, that you invited the young boys, shooters from the gang to the party, and then those young boys, minors that are gang members, gonna bring young girls, gang members that are minors that they recruited in middle school, and they're gonna have these little girls hanging out in that drug dealer's house, and the whole block will say not a fucking thing because they don't want to die. Yeah, that's what's happening for a fact in the majority of the gang infested hoods in the United States of America. We got a whole bunch of gang members and drug dealers recruiting in middle school young little girls, gang members that are only going to be used to set up other boys and get trained. It's a shame. It's a shame that gang culture promotes pedophilia. It's a shame. Big shout out to everyone watching. Big shout out to Amy Conway. Big shout out to Jane. Big shout out to Jen. Thank you so much for being here with us. I appreciate y'all. Love y'all so much. I appreciate your support and everything that y'all do for this channel. And as always, do not ever forget, is your favorite brother, your mother's favorite son, the black sheep, Jrod Point. I am him. Don't you ever forget, believe in yourself because I believe in you. If I did it, you could do it too. I'm nothing special. I believe that you're going to take the best decisions in your life for yourself and for everyone around you. Love yourself and take care of yourself so you'll be able to love and take care of others. As always, your favorite brother, your mother's favorite son, the one and the only, Jrod Point. As always, I'm going to leave you with your favorite song, my favorite song. We love you too, Amy Conway. You so sexy. Let me see if I found it.
tradicional. I'm over